Good morning, students. Today we will be discussing about Wuchereria bancroftyi, commonly known as filaria worm. This is the picture of Wuchereria bancroftyi. It is a human parasitic worm that is a major cause of lymphatic filariasis, or commonly known as elephantiasis. हाथी पांव रोग के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल है. Myself Balram Sai, Assistant Professor in Zoology, Government Dungar College, Bikaner. Wuchereria bancroftyi. It is commonly known as filarial worm. It is a digenic parasite, meaning man is the primary host and the Culex mosquito is the secondary host. It lives in the lymph nodes and lymph vessels of man. It is viviparous. It causes a serious disease in man, elephantiasis, due to the blocking of lymph vessels and glands. If we talk about the classification, phylum Escalmanthus, class Nematoda, order Filarioidea, genus Wuchereria, species bancroftyi. Today we will cover the topic under the following headings, that is distribution of Wuchereria bancroftyi, habits and habitat, general characteristics, life cycle, infection to man, pathology, diagnosis, treatment, and last, precautions to be taken of. Distribution. If we talk about distribution, the parasite is distributed in all tropical, subtropical, and temperate countries. It is not common in Europe, Africa, and North America. In India, it is more prevalent in areas where human populations lives near the bank of rivers and coasts. Next is habits and habitat. This nematode is a digenetic parasite. Its primary host is man, and the adult stage of the parasite is passed in it. The nematode inhabits the lymph and lymph vessels. The secondary or intermediate host is mosquito. Female Anopheles, Culeus, or Aedes mosquito also act as carriers, so they are also known as vector hosts. If we talk about the general characteristic features of filarial worm, it is a dioecious worm and exhibits sexual dimorphism. The adult worm is long, cylindrical, slender, and smooth with rounded ends. It is white in color and almost transparent. The body is quite delicate, making removing it from tissues difficult. It has a short cephalic or head region connected to the main body by a short neck which appears as a constriction. Dark spots are dispersed nuclei throughout the body cavity with no nuclei at the tail tip. Male and females can be differentiated by size and structure of their tail tips. The male worm is smaller, 40 mm long and 100 micrometer in width, and features a ventrally curved tail. The tip of the tail has 15 pairs of minute caudal papillae. The sensory organs, the anal region is an elaborate structure consisting of 12 pairs of papillae, of which 8 are in front and 4 are behind the anus. In contrast, the female is 60 mm to 100 mm long and 300 micrometers in width, nearly 3 times larger in diameter than the male. So, male and female can be differentiated easily on the basis of their size. In females, tail gradually tapers and rounded at the tip. No additional sensory structures are seen. Females are ovoviviparous and can produce thousands of juveniles known as microfilariae. The microfilaria is a miniature adult and retains the egg membrane as a sheath and is often considered an advanced embryo. It measures 280 micrometers long and 25 micrometers wide. It appears quite structureless in vivo, but histologically staining makes its primitive gut, nerve ring, and muscles apparent. If we discuss about the life cycle of filaria worm, life cycle is life cycle of Wuchereria bankrophyti. If we discuss about the life cycle, it completes its life cycle in two hosts, that is life cycle in man and life cycle in mosquito. It will be explained with the help of the next slide. Filaria worm is digenetic, that is it has two hosts. Primary host is the man or human, whereas secondary host is the mosquito. If we discuss about the life cycle, during a blood meal, an infected mosquito introduces third stage filarial larvae onto the skin of the human host where they penetrate into the bite wound. This is the mosquito. It bites and transfers L3 larva into the skin. Here they develop in adults that commonly resides in the lymphatic regions. The female worm measures 80 to 100 mm in length and 0.24 to 0.3 mm in diameter, while the males measure about 40 mm to 0.1 mm. The adults produce microfilariae measuring 244 to 296 micrometer by 7.5 to 10 micrometer, which are sheath and have nocturnal periodicity, except the South Pacific microfilariae, which have the absence of marked periodicity. The microfilariae migrate into lymph and blood channels, moving actively through lymph and blood. So, the adults produce sheath microfilariae that migrates into the lymph and blood channels. Here you are seeing the D meaning the diagnostic stage, whereas I, this is the infective stage. After third step, mosquito takes a blood meal and ingests microfilariae, and these microfilariae set sheaths penetrate mosquito's midgut and migrate to thoracic muscles. After that, this is the L1 larvae and subsequently into the third infective larvae, that is L3 larvae. Here one thing is important. From L1 to L3, the larvae undergoes molting and becomes 1.4 to 2 mm long and thread-like after the second mold, and after the third mold the larva becomes very thin and thread-like. The juvenile enters into the proboscis of the female mosquito, and this is the infective stage of the worm. From L3 larvae, these migrate to head and mosquito's proboscis, and mosquito takes blood meal and transfer these L3 larvae into the skin of man. Here one thing is interesting, that is in the daytime the microfilariae enter in the large vessels in the deep organs, but at night they are always found in the peripheral blood circulation. Next is infection to man. When the infected female mosquito bites a healthy person, the juveniles are passed in the blood vessels. From here, they enter into the lymph vessels where they develop and become adult. Two molds take place in the human body. Thus, filaria molds 5 times in its life cycle to become an adult. Immunity. Infection to mosquito occurs only when the human blood has 15 microfilariae to per 20 cubic mm of blood. The mosquito dies if the number of parasites increase more than 100 in its body. Next is the pathology. Weak infection of filaria does not cause much problems, but in case of severe infestation, it may cause mental retardation, headaches, and blocking of lymph vessels. Blocking of lymph vessels causes many complications. Dead parasites block the lymph vessels in some of the muscular parts like limbs, scrotal sacs, mammary glands, etc. These parts become much enlarged, and this condition is commonly known as elephantiasis or filariasis of Bancroftii. This is the picture depicting elephantiasis, हाथी पांव रोग, जिसमें एक पांव या दोनों पांव हाथी के समान हो जाते हैं. Diagnosis. The standard method for active infection is the identification of microfilariae in a blood smear by microscopic examination. The microfilariae that causes lymphatic filariasis circulate in the blood at night, called nocturnal periodicity, which we were earlier discussing. Blood collection should be done at night to coincide with the appearance of the microfilariae, and a thick smear should be made and stained with Gemesa or hematoxylin and eosin. For increased sensitivity, concentration techniques can be used. Serologic techniques provide an alternative to microscopic detection of microfilariae for the diagnosis of lymphatic filariasis. Patients with active filarial infection typically have elevated levels of anti-filarial IgG4 in the blood, and these can be detected using routine assays. If we talk about the treatment, there is no satisfactory drug for the treatment. However, adult parasite can be controlled by an arsenic product. The microfilariae are controlled by diethylene carbamazine, paramelamine, phenylstibonate, MSB, hetrazine, antimony, and arsenic compounds. If we talk about the precautions, the best way to prevent lymphatic filariasis is to avoid mosquito bites. So either sleep under a mosquito net, or wear long sleeves and trousers, or use mosquito repellent on exposed skin. Secondly, mosquito population should be controlled so that the infection may not spread. The use of hetrazine is recommended to kill the carrier stages. All the precautions prescribed against malaria should be employed also for the control of lymphatic filariasis or elephantiasis. Thanks a lot for paying the attention, and in the upcoming videos we will discuss more about the other topics of the syllabus. Thanks a lot.